Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about hardening mystery metals and to find out whether it's cast or hardenable. So, let's get started on it. Alright guys, so this kind of is a first or second part to a video to a new series that's coming out for the blacksmith store challenges. We got these little baby crowbars from the dollar store, and odds are there's no idea what this is made out of. I hope it could be some sort of hardenable something or other. I hope it's not cast, but odds are it's probably cast and not hardenable. But I guess we'll figure out right now. Alright, our plan is we're going to take these thinner sections here, like the paddles. Anyway, like the paddles and the pry fork here. First off, we're going to straighten out this bend to see and try to forge it down a little bit, and that'll tell us if it's cast. Because once you get any sort of cast metal like hot, and then you start trying to shape it, it'll just crumble to bits like sand. And so then what we're going to do is we'll cut off the small prying bits with the chisels, or the hot cut anyway, and then we're going to just for a little extra practice, we're going to punch a hole in it, in each one. Then we're going to put it on some tie wire, heat her up, and we're going to quench each one. We're going to do an air quench where we just heat it up to critical temperature, let it air cool, see if it hardens that way. We're going to do an oil quench, and then a water quench. So if it doesn't work with any of those, then we're going to have to figure out what to do with it from there. But let's get started, guys. Alright guys, so here we go. We're going to test out, see if this is cast, just by straightening out that bend in it and forging it a little bit. So, here we go. First appearances says it's not cast, but it moves really easy, so I doubt it's any kind of really hardenable steel. So I don't know, we'll just flatten out this fork end a little bit more and straighten her out. We'll cut her off, flip her around, straighten out and cut off this other end here, and then we'll get her. Actually, I should punch. So now we're just gonna flatten out the end here a bit more, so we have a bit more material to work with for trying to get a heat treat on her. Add a little bit more right here, so it's a little bit more even between these pieces. We'll punch our holes, cut her off, flip her around, and do the other end. I thought I was going to skip recording this bit where I punch the holes and split it, but we're just going to keep it in for the video's sake. Here. Mark it. If you want more in-depth look about how I punch my holes, check out my twist videos. And we go over how to punch holes very in depth. Then marks the other one over here. So, whenever I'm doing this, it'll probably just be fast forward. Alright guys, so we got our 3 little samples here we're going to try to heat treat. And that one needs to cool down a little bit before I put it on a tie wire. But plan is we're going to heat all these up to a critical non-magnetic temperature, pretty much, you know, general rule of thumb. And we're going to quench 1 in water, 1 in oil, and let 1 air cool to see if it hardens. And we will use the parent bar as our testing to see if it did anything different, like file width or anything. The reason why I wanted to keep the pieces small is that way it'd be simpler to do the break test for them. They'll either break or bend, and this way they're small enough to bend if they're not hardened, but they will definitely break if they are hardened. So I'll get everything set up and we'll get to quenching these off. This one been heated to critical temperature, non-magnetic. We're just going to let this one air cool. We're going to let that cool down to the point where you can touch it with your bare hand and it won't be warm at all. Alright? That's pretty much the same as the parent bar, and we'll figure out if that'll air harden it once everything's all done and cooled off. Next one we're going to do is the water quench. For this one, non-magnetic, quench it. Now when you do water quenches and oiled quenches, make sure you keep it moving around, because as the quench medium boils, alright, it will make steam jackets around the material and it won't harden evenly, and that's what will cause warpage and cracks. Alright, that one's nice and cool. So you can see the scale popped off, and that's a good indication that it hardened at least a little bit. So once we get to the finish up with the oil and everything's completely cooled down to the point we can touch it, we'll get to testing these. Move on to the next one. Now for in the oil, again same thing with the water. Alright, here's that one. So, it appears that the scale popped a little bit, so this may surprise us and actually be possibly hardenable at least a little bit. Now I'll clean this off and let the air one cool down the rest of the way, and we'll get to testing them. Well, first we're going to do here is our parent bars cooled off a good bit to actually handle it a little bit. So we're going to take file and just see how well she files. Let me grab that. It is still a little warm. It's warm enough you can hold it and touch it, but after a while it just starts getting a little too warm, you know, a little uncomfortable. But yeah, that files pretty easily. So we'll compare that to our other ones here. So let's go with the air hardening, or air quench. So file it, same exact thing. She files pretty easily. So it kind of was no surprise. Yeah, that files really easy. So the air one didn't harden whatsoever, so we won't even attempt to do the break test on that. So next up we'll go to is the oil here. So let's see how well that one files. We can take the glove off now. So let's wipe her off so we can see what we're doing a little bit. Alright, so let's see if that files any easier. Oh, it skates a little bit. It still files. It's not super hard or anything, so. But yeah, listen to that. It skates a lot better than the parent bar. So listen to the parent bar again. Alright, now listen to our oil. That skates a little bit, so it still digs in, as you can see. Like, let's go to this sharp edge here. See, it just digs in a tad bit, but it's still pretty good for something from the dollar store. This material cost $1, so that's pretty promising. Now we're moving on to our water quench here. So this one's probably definitely going to skate. Yeah. Yeah, that one's barely even biting in at all. So, again, back to our parent bar here. Alright, see, that skates in pretty, or that bites in pretty well. Now to our water quench here. Yeah. And then our oil. See, that one bites in a bit, but not nearly as much as the parent bar. So we'll do a brake test on these two and compare to see what they look like. So we're going to go over to the vise for that. Alright guys, quickly to interrupt this video, we're going to do our channel shout out for this video. This video's channel shout out will be Sprinkled Donut Forge. He does a lot of uploading. He recently did a hole punching jig for that would make like what I was doing earlier, punching out the plugs for these test pieces a lot quicker and easier. So go check him out at Sprinkled Donut Forge. I'll put a link to his channel right here in a card, and it'll also be down in the description and the end of the channel. I mean the end of the video. Alright, let's get back at it. Alright, for the first brake test we're going to do our little air cooling piece. That was the same as the control, so let's see how well it brakes. We're just going to use this little ball peen hammer here. Remember, use good eye protection whenever you're doing this, because it could send little pieces everywhere. And she bended with little to no trouble. You see? So, that's definitely not hardened at all. Next, we'll move on to our water quench bit. So, that one, the file skated, or dug in the least. So this one should probably break, like snap right off after a couple little taps. Yeah, it broke right off. So that hardened, and I don't know how well you can see it on the camera there. We got some very coarse grain in it. And it's kind of like a cement or sand almost, so that got probably a little overheated. And again, these haven't been tempered, so the grain is going to be a little bit bigger than it would be after we take it to any sort of temper. But yeah, so at least we know it's at least water hardening. Alright, last but not least, we got our where's the camera? We have our oil. There we go, we flipped her around. Now let's see if we can get her to break. Oh, there she goes. Where did that piece go? There she is. Alright. Yeah, now that grain looks a lot better. It's more like sugar. It's a little coarser, but I think once it would get tempered, it would turn out fairly decent. So let's find the camera here. Focus, yep, you see. So surprisingly enough, this is a hardenable material. So good to know. So we'll get back to the, just wait, well, I will release the video where we turn the crowbar into a knife, chisel, or some other form of tool. So I bought 2 of them. So yeah, I bought 2 of these. So one was for testing in case if it was like some sort of cast steel and it did crumble apart, I could have the other one I could at least use to make in some sort of fabrication project, you know. But so far it seems like this challenge could be possible. So now we'll do our outro. See you in a bit, guys. Alright guys, so that's how we tested it. It seems like it does. Oil and water harden, so that's pretty cool. Again, there's the grain structure for the oil, and for the water, it's not focusing too well. Oh, whatever. Either way, hardened a little bit, so we can get moving on with this challenge. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. And a reminder again, guys, we're going to start doing comment shout-outs in videos too. I think maybe like since we do videos a week, we'll do a monthly shout-out where I'll pick the favorite comment of the month. It could either be helpful, it could be a hate comment, it could be anything. Just whatever I think stands out the most out of the other comments be what I pick. So, guys, remember, leave your comment, see if you get picked. As always, like, share, comment, and subscribe. This is Tucker Singer, S&S Smithing, logging off. See you around, guys.